Politicians and they big fees could never fill my shoes. They don't care, think we all live off welfare. It's hell here, why should I vote like it's ever been fair? My people in despair, they still balance. We hit hard like still malice. Malintentions are the founders and they still counting. No child left behind.
Alright, so this brother has been on fire since the man was born, probably. The man is about to come and share some of the research that he's conducted that's going on right here in our city, some of the things that we need to be concerned about, some of the things that we need to take action about, things that are going on right now as we speak concerning things like the election, concerning things like properties that are being land grabbed and people who are being put out of their homes, and he'll go into detail about all those different issues. But these are things that we need to take into account as we move this movement, because we can't just be moving, we have to move with a strategy. And so with the knowledge that this brother is going to share with us tonight, we'll be able to come up with a meaningful strategy so that we can combat some of the things that are being brought against us right now. So everybody, please join me in welcoming one of our community scholars, Brother Darrin Muhammad.
I'm just going to need a chair just to put my books.
Okay, cool. Good.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Let's give our brother a round of applause, and I just want to thank him for the beautiful introduction. But let me first ask all of you to give yourselves a round of applause for coming out tonight on a Friday night. Because in Baltimore City, black people are not supposed to be serious on Friday night. Friday night, you're supposed to be doing, as the OJ's old song said, living for the weekend. You're supposed to be out trying to get your, you're supposed to be home playing PlayStation while they building space stations. You're not supposed to be thinking about freeing your mind tonight. But I thank the brothers, and I want to thank them of Reality Speaks, and the brothers that have launched the Zero Murder Rate movement, because we live in a city where, as we speak right now, any of these young men that could leave out here tonight could be found murdered before the sun comes up tomorrow morning. That any of our babies right now, as we speak, that are sitting here tonight, have the chance of being molested before the sun comes up tomorrow morning in Baltimore City. That's the reality of what we see in 2007 right now. That any of our women that are sitting here tonight could be raped before the sun comes up tomorrow morning. And if you're a black man in Baltimore City right now, you could be dead from heart attack. You could be dead from lack of sleep. You could be dead from lack of just water that is not poison in Baltimore City right now. Not to mention, you risk just being pulled over by a Baltimore City police officer and shot on your way home, or beat on your way home, or find yourself in central booking before the sun comes up tomorrow. And so we should be meeting like this every week. During the 60s, we met like this every night. Not just every week, but every night there were meetings and teachings taking place. But we become disconnected from one another. So even though we live in the same neighborhood, and some even in the same home, we become estranged from one another. And this is why these kind of forums are so important. Because we got people who live on the same block, but they don't know each other. You got young brothers that go to school, but they don't know each other in school. They just know their dog, they just know their groupie, they just know the boys on their block, they just know their crew that they're rolling with. But they don't know one another. So we become estranged from one another. So much so that it's easy for us to pull the trigger on each other today. But when we pull that trigger, it's somebody else's mind that's been superimposed or transferred into our mind. So I just wanted to say that at the outset, but thank you again, all of you, from the depths of my heart, for taking time out of your schedules and coming out on a Friday night. Because as I said before, you're not supposed to want to be in a room with black people if you're drunk. Except for if you had some wine, had some swine, or if you're smoking some vine, passing a blunt. Then you want to hang out with the boys. Whether it's the young boys or the old boys. The ones on the corner passing the wine, and they say they passing the vine. Because they're dealing with so much stress in this city right now. They got to try to smoke their way from the pain that they're going through. Or they got to try to anesthetize themselves or drink themselves away from the pain. But when they wake up tomorrow morning, the problems are still here. When they come down off of that high, the problems are still here. When they come out of the church, with all that, woo, running up and down the aisles, all that running, like they getting Jesus just running. The problems are still here. all the music, all the singing, all the loud this and all the loud that, problems are still here. About solutions and then implementing the solution. And these brothers have been doing that. The brothers and sisters of Reality Speaks. And so when they called and asked me, would I come and just do a teaching on Friday night, I'm more than happy to do this. That this is the mission. I don't care what I'm doing on the radio, but it does no good if you don't take what you do on the radio and bring it back into the community. Because then you're only doing radio, or you're only doing TV, or you're only doing rapping, or you're only doing whatever it is you think you're doing to be seen among men. But are you in it to win it? Are you in it and of it? Because we're right now in a crisis. We're at the crossroads in Baltimore City is where we are. So I just got to come right with the truth and a lie. Since we live close to the waterfront down there, you heard the old joke. A lie and the truth was hanging out together. And the truth, or the lie said the truth, let's go swimming. They were down the harbor. I gotta keep it crystal clear to you, since most of us like to go down the harbor, the aquarium. The lie and truth was hanging out. Isn't that something? Like God and the devil. So the lie said the truth, let's go swimming. So truth took off his clothes and jumped in the water first. Lie said, go ahead. Go ahead, truth, you jump in the water, and I'm coming right behind you. And soon as truth took off his clothes and jumped in the water, what do you think the lie did? He grabbed truth's clothes and put on his clothes. He ran on back in town. He ran down City Hall. He ran down to the Baltimore Arena. He ran into your high school or your middle school. He ran into your home. He ran into your church. But many of the people who weren't aware of the time, who didn't have that third eye open, who wasn't able to be like Neo in the Matrix and see through the lies, he didn't want to take the red pill. He took the blue pill. So many of them that took the blue pill wasn't able to recognize the lie when he came among them in truth clothing. But truth realized what the lie had done. The truth jumped out of the water, and he refused to put on the lie's clothes. So what do you think the truth did? The truth ran through your school, ran through your home, ran through City Hall, ran through the Baltimore Arena naked. You know when they do that around here, they call it streaking. They call it streaking. But an old wise man had enough discernment. He had the gift to be able to see through the lie who was dressed as truth. And the old wise man said, no, when the lie came dressed as truth, he said, that's not the truth. He said, I see the naked, dripping truth coming up the road right now. See, that's what we got to have, just the naked truth. Because we want somebody to lie to us. We've been used to the lie so much that we don't know how to distinguish between a lie and truth. And that's why we need these kind of forums and teach-ins that we can talk to each other and just be truthful. And that's what we got to do, is to give our young people the truth. They see enough lies every day coming from adults. They see it coming from their teachers. You send your sons, you send your daughters to school. You send them to school so that you're turning them over into the hands of the teacher to shape them, to mold them, to bring out of them what God has already deposited in them. You ain't sending them to school for the teacher to be taken off on. You ain't sending your son to school to go to school, come back home to you and say, Mom, I'm getting a little behind in class, right? Years ago, it might have been lessons. We say getting a little behind in class now is the teacher's behind he getting some of. That's the problem right now. In the city, in the state, in the country. That there used to be a standard.
They just add to my blues. Politicians and they big feet can never fill my shoes. They don't care, think we all live off welfare. It's hell here, why should I vote like it's ever been fair? My people in despair, they still balance. We hit hard like still malice. Malintentions are the founders and they still counting. No child left behind, read between the lines, trying to control a precious mind. Zombies in the school line.